What is going on, everybody? I am Rob Westerman, the third of GBP Daily, and you can find me all over social media at GBP Daily. And if you are not already, please subscribe to my YouTube channel, like the video, throw a comment down in the comment section. It really helps me and goes a long way in helping the channel be seen across YouTube. It is Tuesday, June 24th, and today I'm going to go over my predictions for the NFC North and what I think will end up being the standings at the end of the upcoming regular season. Before we go over this upcoming season, let's round up how last year ended in the regular season for the NFC North. In last place, their typical slot and seemingly what they've called home more times than not, the Chicago Bears at 5-12. The Bears actually started off the year pretty decent at 4-2 through their first 6 games. And then the Commanders' Hail Mary happened in October. And from then on, the Bears looked like kind of the Bears that we are used to, at least in the last decade or so. And although I do think that they will be better this year, last year was not good. In third place, our beloved Green Bay Packers. Even with an 11-6 record, we finished the year in third behind the Lions and the Vikings. We all know how last year went. We couldn't beat the good teams, and we beat up on the teams that we were supposed to beat. Jordan Love missed time. Jair was injured. He missed a lot of time. All in all, at least from my perspective, a pretty disappointing year for the Packers in 2024. And in second place for last year's NFC North standings, the Minnesota Vikings at 14-3. The Vikes, led by Sam Darnold, had themselves one of their best years in franchise history, but similar to the team in first place, they were one and done in the playoffs. And now with Darnold gone, J.J. McCarthy steps in. That'll be interesting to see how that plays out this upcoming season. In first place, the 15-2 Detroit Lions. The Lions, in my opinion, were the best team in the NFL for most of the regular season last year. We got pounded by them pretty good in our first matchup at home. And then in Detroit later on, we actually played them pretty decent, but could not finish the job. And as did the Vikings, the Lions were also one and done in the playoffs. This year, I do think we are in for a little bit of a shakeup. Although I do think the NFC North will be a good division overall this year, it's going to be hard to be as good, especially record-wise, as we were last season. Let's get to some predictions, shall we? Finishing last place in the NFC North in 2025, I have the Minnesota Vikings, and I made the mistake of making the same prediction last year, and the Vikings turned around and had an incredible season, finishing 14-3. So don't scoff at me, Vikings fans. It might be a good omen, maybe for you again this year, if it does indeed happen again. And if it does, you can thank me later. My thought process behind this isn't so much about the Vikings roster itself, because I do think they have some great players, specifically on the offensive side of the ball. It's more so the fact that I think the Bears, Lions, and Packers are better, mainly due to J.J. McCarthy being such a big question mark, solely because he hasn't had any to very little action in the NFL. In third place, I have the Detroit Lions. The loss of Ben Johnson as their offensive coordinator, in my opinion, is going to be a massive blow. And like I said earlier, I thought they were the best offensive football last year. And as we saw, he knew exactly when to call the perfect trick play to flip the game in their favor. And without him, I do think they take a step back. Frank Ragnow retired, leaving that interior offensive line a little bit of a question mark, pretty young. And they also have the second toughest schedule for 2025. The Lions I have in third place. I do think they regress. In second place, and it pains me to think they'll be good this year, I've got the Chicago Bears. Ben Johnson is now running the show, and we just talked about him being one of the best offensive minds in football. He's got another team full of weapons for Caleb Williams to get the ball to. And they made some investments in their offensive line, which was a problem last year. We all saw that. And they also added Luther Burden III and Colson Loveland in the passing game during the draft this past spring. I think we're going to be seeing a pretty good Bears team in 2025. And for a team that was a fingertip away from sweeping us last year, I think it would be foolish not to take them seriously this upcoming season. So for second place in the NFC North this upcoming year, I've got the Chicago Bears. In first, and I'm sure most of you could have guessed this one, the Green Bay Packers. And maybe I'm just saying this with my heart, but I genuinely do think the Packers, with a healthy Jordan Love, can be one of the best teams, not only in the NFC North, but in the entire NFC this season. Josh Jacobs, in my opinion, was a top 5 running back last year. And we've got an even better offensive line, adding Aaron Banks from the 49ers. Elton Jenkins moving to center, hopefully. Hopefully he's happy come training camp time in about 30 days. Josh Jacobs with a better offensive line is going to have a chance to continue that type of play this season. We all know Tucker Kraft is a monster at tight end. Matt LaFleur calling the shots. That always gets me excited. All of this, and we haven't even touched on the defensive side of the ball. Xavier McKinney, one of the best safeties in the NFL. Edgerrin Cooper in year 2 can only get better. He was a stud last year. And a healthy Kenny Clark. He was battling that toe injury last year that he suffered during the Eagles game in week 1 down in Brazil. He also had surgery on that toe at the conclusion of this last year's season. So pretty decent injury for him. And if anybody has had a toe injury, you know how serious those can get. I know it doesn't sound terrible, but for a big guy like him in the trenches, that can affect you pretty well. When we saw that last year with his play. The real question marks with the Packers sit, as we all know, in the wide receiver and cornerback room. Can Matthew Golden be an impact player from the jump? Have the drops become a thing of the past, specifically for Jaden Reed and Dontavian Wicks? In the cornerback room, can Carrington Valentine, Nate Hobbs, and Keyshawn Nixon, can they be those type of corners that we need them to be? As we're going to be facing a bunch of stud wide receivers this upcoming year. So those things are to be determined, but I am definitely hopeful. To round it back for my 2025 NFC North regular season predictions, Packers in first place, Bears in second place, Lions in third place, and Vikings in fourth place. So before you ridicule my predictions, why don't you instead drop your predictions in the comment section? I'd love to hear them and chat back and forth with you guys. I appreciate you for checking out the video. And as I said at the start, please subscribe to the YouTube channel. Hit me up on social media at GBP Daily. I'd love to hear from you. Have yourself a great Tuesday, and I will catch you guys later. Thank you.